What is up, guys? It is Sunday the 19th of February and we're here at PC Gamer Weekender. So let's do a quick tech news roundup. First up, you might remember a few months ago we talked about ZTE's phone, you know, the phone that they were crowdsourcing features for and then were crowdfunding the phone itself on Kickstarter, and with just one day to go they've pulled it because of the $500,000 goal they only raised $33,000. Every single feature in this phone was done by the community. They suggested ideas, they voted for what they wanted. It had things like eye tracking to scroll, and it seemed alright, but a lot of users were really skeptical about how it would actually come together. It's definitely something that was out there, but whether or not it was a good idea is something that's debatable. From an interactive point of view, they got some features they might not have considered, but from a funding point of view, it's really hard to justify. Whether or not Project CSX was a success is a debate to be had. From a community point of view, loads of people replied, they all had features they wanted in the phone, but from a funding point of view, $36,000 isn't much. In fact, it's kind of embarrassing considering ZTE is China's second largest phone manufacturer. Elsewhere, we actually have Syed off camera. Come on, magical, look at that. And he's here to talk about Samsung, because the news isn't great, is it?
No, it's not. He's in very big trouble, the guy, isn't he?
Yeah, so the Samsung CEO was actually arrested in South Korea for fraud, which isn't a minor deal.
No, it's not, especially considering South Korea is a big producer of Samsung phones, but Samsung is based there. But in terms of Samsung's shares, probably plummeted, I assume, from the sound of this.
Mr. Lee Jae-yong was first interviewed in January in respect to these charges, and then he was interviewed a second time, at which point on Friday they decided to arrest him on fraud. So it's not looking good for Samsung.
No, it's not. Especially considering that Samsung is probably one of the biggest factors in the South Korean economy, and if something like that goes up, then South Korean economy could potentially be faltering in terms of Samsung's trouble. What I'm more concerned about is what could this mean for the greater scheme, because typically in these situations, people don't do it on their own. This is
very reminiscent of a top-down issue, you know? If it had been some random person, you'd be like, yeah, whatever. This is the CEO of Samsung.
Not a good sign. But yeah, again, I like to state that it's interesting to see how far this goes in terms of, is it just the CEO and a collusion? Is it potential collusion going on? Would this explain why Samsung was so defensive with not allowing Apple products and the legal arrest happening a couple of years back? You know, the whole design arguments.
And it is worth noting that Apple this year, first time ever, actually outsold Samsung in phone sales overall.
Yeah,
which to be fair, the Note 7 did literally blow up.
Yes, that is not a good market. So I don't think it's been, I think for the financial year, it's not been a good year for Samsung so far.
And it's not getting any better by the looks of it.
No.
That puts a lot of pressure on the S8, a phone which is rumoured to have essentially no bezel, amazing specs, but we'll have to wait and see. And is it too late for Samsung? Who knows? And finally, Nokia are now releasing their Android phone, with Nokia 8, which is bizarre because it's their first phone technically since they were bought. However, there is good news because they're also re-releasing the 3310, you know, like the brick phone?
No, this is classical brick. Like, so the different variants of the Nokia brick. This is OG first generation brick. This is the one that drug dealers still use today. Like, there was actually an article by Vice who say the drug dealers who tend to use disposable phones, you want to use Nokia 3310s.
So the important thing is, this is designed for people who don't want a smartphone. Because if you go to a phone store right now, it's really hard to find a phone that isn't a smartphone. So the Nokia 3310 will come in and is expected to cost around £50 to £60, which is a reasonable-ish price, and is more designed if you want someone like me, for example, if you want a second phone, for the sake of having like a backup phone that's just a phone for phoning people. Because phones have become this thing where you have Facebook on them, Twitter, Snapchat, and you're using them for absolutely everything.
See, I have 2 points to this, and it's quite interesting you mention this because I work in sort of a second-hand shop, CX, in the Hounslow branch.
Go check it out.
Don't bother, it's okay. 6 out of 10, too much water. Anyway, so with that, a lot of times when we get customers, there's two types of customers. So typically there are those who are the elderly folk who just want a big phone just to call
press
the
buttons on. Yeah.
call
Make calls and
the,
that's
the
it.
uncle, the auntie.
Call the grandson, talk to him for like 3 hours, and bore them to death.
Yeah. And then the other type is the type who buy sort of cheapish iPhones and then send them off abroad. Obviously, those that keep them, but typically that's the two argument camps. What I find with this phone is it's going to fulfill basically a massive demand, at least in my sector, from what I've seen, is that people, when you're saying, okay, I need a phone that's a cheapy phone, I can just call my sons, I'm just going to point to the Nokia now, because it just does the job. Like, and bear in mind, if I say I get 10 customers, I'd say 6 out of 10 will want those phones. 2 will want the smartphones, 2 will just want any other phone.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. The 3310 is, I mean, it's an iconic phone.
Yes.
And
as iconic as the 80s brick phone, like.
And I might have to pick one up just for the sake of having one. What? Do you see yourself buying one?
I think we're going to have a Pokemon Go situation where everyone's going to buy one. Everyone's going to realize, oh, this is not very good.
Yes,
because it's what we have.
That, or like how Nintendo have this habit of underproducing everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a real pain, to be completely honest. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you like the video, make sure to click like. If you didn't, I'm not quite sure why you're still here. Maybe it's because there's like a massive PC gamer thing in the background, which means good news, for there's lots of PC gamer content coming in the coming days. And you know what? Just hit subscribe, because PC Gamer, and we have so much stuff. We've done a bunch of interviews. It's going to be absolutely awesome. There's like a video if you click on his face, which is a previous video, and there's a video if you click on the rest of him, which is like the video that YouTube thinks you'll really love. Hit subscribe to see more videos like this one, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.